This is my project, my Saab 340 cockpit that I have here in my garage. This is actually the same airplane, Saab 340, serial number 009. And why do I have a cockpit in my garage together with my Lambo and Volvos? Yeah, that's because I scrapped this airplane and I'm doing a bar of this one, rebuilding it to a bar. I will explain a little bit this crazy idea and what I'm doing. You can see that it's chopped off here. It has some wheels on it, so it's actually like a trailer now. You can use it. We have the door in here. It's actually a Bin Laden door. I can explain to you a little bit later. And it's still in work in progress. This is my project. So yeah, some instrumentation, a little table here to make some drinks with some cooled beers, and just put in a sign I bought in Dubai some time ago. Here it will be some shelves for bottles. I also have a lot of stuff, parts for it here that I will install maybe not later on. And yeah, this is actually the same airplane. It's a Saab 340 built in Sweden in the 80s. I think this one was delivered late 84, and it had 33 passengers and 2 pilots, could be 3 pilots if needed. It's a jump seat in there, cockpit, and 1 flight attendant usually. So pretty small aircraft. I've been working with these aircrafts for 10 years and yeah, very good aircrafts. They are all over the world still, even though they are built in 80s and 90s. It's a turboprop aircraft. And this particular aircraft I scrapped. The company I worked for at the time, they bought this one in US. It was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The plan was first to bring it home to Sweden and rebuild it and refurbish and sell it. But it was a little bit too bad condition, so we scrapped it and sent it home in containers instead. The cockpit was in the container and was actually going to be scrapped, but I wanted to have it, so I actually finally got it. When I got the cockpit, it was nothing inside it. Not one single instrument that you can see here. No panels. I have some panels, some are still missing. No windows, no stuff like that. Still missing some parts. You can see here the nose of the aircraft, it's called the radome. This is just the forward part of one, crashed. This is a long time project. I had this for many years now and it's very slow. I just work on it time to time, not that often. I collect parts for it over the years when I can find anything Saab related could be used in the cockpit. I buy the parts, collect them and put them inside the aircraft or on the shelf. The first thing I did with the aircraft was to make it like a kind of a trailer so I can move it around in and out of the garage. So I put in an axle with some wheels, bought them on the scrapyard. So this is actually movable. The plan is to have it like a bar. The thing is, you're gonna serve from inside the bar. You should have everything in there. Beers, stronger things. It should be in tap for draft beer. And yeah, so serving outside, maybe some kind of bar, disc, shelf or something on the outside here. So it's mainly thought to be into the garage here. But it's possible to put this is the standard in Sweden, so that one you can put after a car if needed, like this one. So it's possible to take this somewhere if you want. And yeah, let's check here on the back side. I had to cut this one. This is not finished all yet. Here we have the door, and this one actually is very thick. We call it the Bin Laden door. It came after the horrible September 11 events in New York, and after that were those terrorists. Actually, the old, in almost all airplanes, the doors into the cockpit was not strong at all. You can just put your foot on it and it will go in. After that, you have to change these ones to like steel. This door is very strong steel. Here is a cage with a blowout door. If you get the decompression in the cabin or in the cockpit, it should not collapse the structure. And as you can see on the outside, it's nothing to open it. You can only open it from the inside. This one was, yeah, it's still missing some parts. You see the blowout door, and here it's supposed to be a glass, so you can see in and see out who's outside of the door. And looking into the cockpit here, if we enter, first of all you can see that I have cut out the floor. The floor lever usually is here, and then we have the seats, so you're sitting inside here. My plan is to stand here like I do now, so you have the headroom to stand, and now it's pretty okay here. The flooring here is not final yet, so I will make a solid one and put the floor mat. I have a brand new one that is in all galleys and stuff like that in aircrafts. Next thing you can see maybe is this is a little bit of a hybrid. It's a Saab 340, but all Saab 340 have all these instruments, clocks for the engine instruments and propeller in the middle, and it got old CRT's screens here. And this one have the Saab 2000 screens. It's the later model, and it usually have 2 screens here, 2 there, and 2 in the middle, so we have 6 screens with the engine instruments. Yeah, this screen is actually an engine screen that's supposed to be here in the middle, where you can see the ITT, power, NG, MP, propeller RPM there. But I found this one and I thought they're really cool. These one actually are display screens. These two and this one I have not put light in it. It's actually just temporary lights in this one, so it will be a little bit better in the future. And by the way, it's no smoking in here. That's good. I will put some better lights in them, but they are actually like a display screens, have been in a mock-up, I believe. This one is the real deal. Don't think I will be able to fire that one up, but I will try to fire up as many instruments as possible. At least put the lights in so it will look nice. And if you're familiar here with the instruments, no, not all of them are the correct ones. It's full here now, but not supposed to be torque here. Fuel flow, it's the correct one. Torque temp is correct. So I'm still looking for some instruments to make this as complete as possible, but for most people I don't think they know which instrument is supposed to be there. Warning panel here, we have the landing gear panel here. When we're on ground, it's not possible to take the landing gears up, except if you press this one. So that landing gear up, landing gear down. We have the FMS, supposed to be a little bit farther back. Usually the center console goes back here, and there's like the radius and the power lever, condition lever here. I cut everything out here, so it's a little bit more room here. This hydraulic panel is still in the correct location. Hydraulic off, auto, and override. Woo! It sounds... Yeah, this is actually the Saab 340 screen. As you can see, it's a CRT. Big one, long one for a small screen, and usually it's in one upper and one lower. ADI and HSI there. Some other stuff, fuel injector, circuit breakers. We have the glare shield panels. Some ADF is not supposed to be here, but it fits here. You need to put in some buttons. I think I have some of these push buttons here, brand new one that I will put in here instead. It's like the master warning and caution, you push there. And here we have the audio panel. So it's missing some oxygen pressure gauge. Here it's actually an ashtray. They had an ashtray in these aircrafts. I got in some circuit breakers in aircrafts, the older aircrafts. The newer ones I work with, they have like virtual circuit breakers with solid state controllers, like the PDM that I use in my Lamborghini here. The circuit breakers, some is allowed to reset in air, some is not. But it's very good when you're troubleshooting anything, or if you want to work on some system. If you're working with an antenna, COM2, you can pull that one, so nobody is sending on that one. Just put in these panels here, and you can see in the ceiling here it's missing, and I just briefly cut it out because I wanted to have some headroom so it's possible to stand here. Usually here in the middle there is a lot of switch panels like these ones. It is like test panels like these ones. Bleed leak. We have the fire panels. Yeah, this one is actually a Saab 340 one, with a fire panel. This one is the Saab 2000. You can see it a little bit more modern with a push button instead of this switch. If you got a fire, you get a lot of red warnings. This one is lighting up red as well. So you pull this one out, and then everything to the engine, fuel supply, electrical, hydraulic is shut off. And if the engine is spooling down, it's still fire, you can push this one to put the fire extinguishers. It's fire extinguishers like it is in race cars, built-in fire extinguishers. Like also I did put into my Lamborghini there. And these ones usually are up here. I will put some stuff in here. You can see the depth of everything here. It's a thin panel, but very deep everything. So maybe I just cut some of these ones off and make them go a little bit further up there. Same with this one, so yes, yeah, you can see how deep it is. The wiring, everything in the engineering and the workmanship is very nice in aircrafts. Some placards, cargo fire, damaged one, it's the fuel used instrument there. And here we have roll switches, and this one is the cabin attendant's panel, reading lights, where she can turn off or on the lights into the cabin, window, overhead lights, call and emergency lights here. It has this copper wire, like a safety wire, so they can see that nobody has been pushing that one. By the way, all parts here, they are not airworthy. All serial numbers are removed on them, so some of them are broken parts, some of them, yeah, like this one, I think it's an experimental flight test only. It's not allowed, never allowed to be in aircraft that is delivered, so maybe used on the factory. Same with all other parts I have here, aircraft parts. None of these parts can never be in an airplane that is flying again. It's very strict rules and safety on that one. And the modifications I have done, you can maybe see this one. It's a little bit too big and maybe don't fit inside here, but yeah, I think it's good. You always need to have like a sink to clean the glasses and clean stuff. And here I also have some working area, making drinks. I will maybe put something up here, some shelf to put like drinks on, and these, yeah, well, I don't know what these are called, but some of these actually, when I have been around in the world, I've been talking about that I have an airplane bar and then asking if they have any equipment like that. All of these equipment is, I got them for free for some bars. I don't remember, I should have been writing where I got them from, but some are from California, some from Florida, I think some from Dubai and other places in Sweden as well. One more bar related thing, I have an ice cube machine to get nice ice cubes for the drinks. It's over here, it's on. I have a refrigerator for the beers in can, and yeah, you can put some other things that needs to be refrigerated. I will put a tap in this one. Don't know where I'm gonna have it, if I'm gonna have it here in the middle or somewhere. And this one I think a little bit cool. I got this tap that I think I'm gonna use this part here. I will have the beer flowing through this one. And can you guess what this is? This is actually a fuel pump, afterburner fuel pump from 37 Saab 37 Viggen. It's the most powerful jet fighter that Sweden have built. So it flows a lot. I think this is flowing like 14 liters each second of fuel. So that's a lot of fuel. That's and it's a lot of beer. If you compare it to pints, I think it's over 30 pints of beer each second. So if I can take this apart and make these like lines, hoses there go through the pump, it would be great. If you can check here, this pump is actually driven by this shaft. So it's a mechanical driven pump. So, and this one is big, almost like big like a drive shaft for a several hundred horsepower car. See where you can put this one, flow some beer. I have been looking for some system with like a you know, the cooler and the refrigerator for the beer, and to put like kegs, taps. But if I don't find one, I will make a system with the cold water and like a copper line going into that cold water thing. These are the panels that's supposed to be here. These one are from the inside, so when the cabin pressure it seals even better, and here's the seal. This one is brand new, and yeah, some different parts inside there are brand new. And I have, for example, this one I don't think I'm going to use in the bar, but this is a wiring harness for an engine. You can see this one is brand new, never used. Some very nice mil-spec connectors, and if you're into wiring, this is actually very nice. This is like Nomex braid that they put over the wiring. This is what they use in aircraft engines for the Saab. These ones could be many $1,000, very expensive parts. Aircraft parts, by the way, they're very expensive. One thing with these, it could be a change that overnight that they change for some better thing into the wiring harness. They maybe change some materials, some other way to do it or something. Then a part that could cost many $1,000s, maybe $100,000 sometimes, is worthless overnight, and then it's just scrap. Some of the new parts that I have here that has been airworthy and brand new is not that anymore. An electrical panel laying down there. I will do an electrical system in this one. It will need like 230 volts. It needs 12 volts. This one is actually put in from like a caravan trailer, so it has a switch inside here. I think I have a pump. Yeah, here's an electrical pump. Here's where the foots of the pilot is usually. We'll put tanks, so I have fresh water and some gray water from that one. This is actually landing gear release, emergency release the landing gears, and it's actually used to be a pump here with a shaft, so you can manually put hydraulic pressure if the electrical pump fails. And for information, here is some wiring in the aircraft. Almost all wires in aircrafts are white, some black and red ones as well. All wirings are marked, so it's a clever way. You can see what kind of system it is, FMA, and it's wire number 303 2401. 24 is the gauge, is the size of the wire. So very good system and nice to work with when you're working with electronics in aircrafts. This one is actually a cool one. It's called the whiskey hatch, and maybe in this one is one of the only aircrafts that will actually give whiskey out in this one. Usually the pilots, when we have closed the door, they do the weight and balance, and they give a paper with the final weight and balance to ground personnel or mechanics technician out in this one. So I don't know why it's called the whiskey hatch, but it's very known when working with these aircrafts. I think when someone will order whiskey in this aircraft, it must always be served through here. Also here we have all of these nice buttons with a very nice feel and push buttons in them, small push buttons. My plan with some of these was to use them for like my cars, to put them in into the Lamborghini or the Volvo. And I still have some windows on this side, and now it's only the window frames here. First, I did not want to have any window frames or anything because I'm gonna serve out. But now I think, yes, I'm gonna have some windows if I want to have this outside, but they're very heavy, very thick. So I removed the original windows and gonna put in some other, like plastic maybe. And maybe I should just put a hinge in the top here and be able to open it like this, so I can serve out of them, and then I can also close them. And maybe you have seen that it is a little bit ugly here. I have actually cleaned a lot of this melted plastic. I used to have this one outside of my old garage. I had a green tarp over it to cover it. Next to this one I have my beautiful Volvo 142 that was convertible. Next to these ones it was like Audis. One day they called and said it was a fire. I went home and the Audis, someone had put fire on them. The fire went to my Volvo 140. It totally destroyed. I didn't get anything out of it because it was not insured. The fire went on the side here. It melted the tarp, so it was almost that this one get burnt down. And by the way, I think, yeah, this one is Odense. Yeah, this one I actually found in Odense. I was there working on aircrafts that got painted, and then I saw HBAHC. That's my aircraft 009. So I just told them that and they gave it to me. So it still have some paint on there. That's nice. It was some of the better days over the Alps. Same with this picture I found in the workshop at the factory in Saab. Some more equipment back here, and by the way, this is a fun thing I can show you. These are very taped here, repaired. These are the phones that the flight attendants talk with the cabin and with the cockpit. It has been several times that the flight attendants has made a remark and telling that it's something wrong, it's broken. And then when you check, this one is completely red. It's just covered in lipstick. So the flight attendants, they kiss this microphone here. So just cleaning out the lipstick and then it's working again. I actually found some documents in the factory. That is delivery documents 009 from 84, Saab Scania, equipment list, yeah, some different papers, national permit to fly, engines. Right hand engine has actually 76 hours, right left hand 9.21 when aircraft is delivered. 25 hours, it's like test flights before it got delivered. And yeah, a lot of documents for like when they do the engine runs, when they do the flights. Here the standby compass they have done. Actually I don't have it, but it's up here from the beginning. When you lost power of the aircraft, you always have a compass. Here we have the values for the flight controls, theoretical value, tolerance, what it should be, 20 plus minus 1 allowed. It had 19 there to the left. Nose cone is not the correct one. This one is, yeah, actually very nice paint, if you can see this one. It's badly crashed, but gold and red. This is actually Etihad, if you know the airline from Abu Dhabi. Just the forward part of it. I have a mold here. It's a fiberglass mold that two of my old colleagues helped me to do. So thank you very much, Robban, and the other colleague actually do composite carbon fiber for Koenigsegg. So when will this be finished? I have no idea. Depends on how much work I do with it. Found this one. Someone have forgot it here in my garage, I think. Should have put the smaller size there, just a small one. I've also collected some other stuff. I have some signs here, coasters, pack of coasters, some, yeah, liquor, beer glasses, nice one. And I have a lot of equipment like smoke masks, stuff like that, these dropout smoke masks. So I will fill this up as much as I can with parts. And yeah, thank you everybody that have helped me with the parts for this one. We'll see when this will be operational. It has been in here for many years, not finished yet. Usually my priorities are my cars, and it will be my priorities in the future as well. Lamborghini now is working, and I will have it like that for some time, but I will, when I have time, work on the 245er there with the Lamborghini engine. Alright, thank you for watching, and hope you thought something was interesting in this one.